finally had to get myself together. And hopefully, y'all are doing well. We're oh, where is the freaking? Oh, I forget how to do this every single time I come on here. How do I change this? How do I freaking change this? Um. Oh, there it is. Okay, how y'all doing? Don't mind the raggedy wig, you know what I'm saying? I literally just had a pop sound on my head, and then uh let me get up before I get to yapping. But y'all just gonna see the top of this wig for a minute. But yeah, so mind you, I had to switch the freaking hey girl, how you doing? I had to freaking switch the cup I was using because it was telling too much information about certain whereabouts. And I was like, oh, I don't want to get nobody crazy on here finding out some information about me and be able to look me up. So I was like, let me just change my cup to a regular mug. It's a shame I really have to think about stuff like, oh, like I really be having to think about stuff in my background because I don't want stuff to be looking too well, I don't want people to find out certain information where they can connect me to my whereabouts and whatnot and what have you. Hey T Berries, how you doing? Oh, I'm sorry, girl. Did you try the hydrogen peroxide with water? Or did you try anything? Yeah, people be so freaking weird. That's why I was like, you know what? Let me just switch this cup just to be safe. Cause I was just gonna turn it around to like face a different way. But I know when I get to cackling, I don't be paying attention. And I be done show something that I didn't need to be showing. But give me 1 second, y'all. But yeah, I do have topics for today. Is am I the asshole topics from a Reddit? Oh yes, I tried it. It worked for a little bit. I didn't have any clothes, but I did get some Orajel. Not cat. Orajel works sometimes. Sometimes, but not all the time. Uh all right, let me just leave this running for a bit in case my husband messaged me back. Like I told him I was going live, right? And I was like, yeah, so I'm about to be going live at 8:30 and he has somewhere he had to go and he on his way back home now. But I'm looking like, why are you texting me when you know I'm live? You know I'm live. All right. I'm all right. I have a slight headache. Like when here you go, click clacking. Get your ass in the bed. In the bed. And anyways, I'm sorry, y'all. My dog doing too much. I swear, like when he see me on here or like recording, he start making noise. Oh, what Tubi movie? But yeah, I've been having a headache these past couple days, and I'm pretty sure it's because my iron levels are not where they should be because I'm on my ladies' days. But we just gonna live life. I literally added some vitamins to my cart when we was on your live. when you were talking about the vitamins you were taking, because I was like, yeah, I ran out of my multivitamin because y'all know I was eating my gummies as snacks. Well, not as snacks, but like, I was eating the amount I was supposed to be eating, but I was eating it as a sweet TREAT because I can't say the word because I don't want my dog tripping on me. But anyways, the affair. I feel like I saw that one when I was skimming through Tubi this past weekend, but I could be wrong. Man, I don't know, I feel like my iron levels are just kind of low at the moment, which is why I feel kind of off. Hello, Renizon of likes. I might be saying your name wrong. My apologies. Hello, Kaden. How are you? That reminds me of the dog prank on TikTok. What dog prank? Put it in the Discord so I know what you're talking about. Hello, James. How are you? But yeah. So I do have. Why did it send like that? Oh, so ugly. Okay. All right, so I'm about to read some Am I the Asshole topics, and you guys can let me know in the comments down below what you guys would do in this situation. And then I'll also share with you guys what I would do as well. So the first one says, Am I the asshole for getting upset for my girlfriend wanting me to sleep on a small couch? It says, my girlfriend of 4 years is wanting to let her friend stay over, which is fine, but she wants me to sleep in the office with a tiny couch. She wants her and her friend to sleep in our bed, and this is all after I finish working a 12-hour shift. Am I the asshole? What are y'all thoughts? Because personally, a woman who fell in love with a man who doesn't love her and she's doing everything she can to be with that man is given obsessed. Why are you so obsessed with me? Oh boy, I wanna know. I agree, Kaden. I agree, Rose Rundown. Because if it was me, and I'm going to tell you, if anybody comes over, I'm thinking you're sleeping on a couch or you're getting a blow-up mattress. Like, I think the only people where I would be okay with them sleeping in our bed is, like, our moms. But personally, anybody else, you could sleep on the couch, blow-up mattress, or the floor. Because, yeah. But the next topic is, am I the asshole for telling my best friend I understood why his fiance is so disappointed that he proposed to her at the gym? I'm not gonna lie, that would piss me off. That would piss me off. It said, so the person who wrote this is a 27-year-old female. And it says, I was excited when my best friend, who is a 27-year-old male, told me he had proposed to his girlfriend, who is a 29-year-old female. He said he had the proposal on video. Okay, so not him having the incriminating evidence. I was so confused when the video started out in the woman's gym. Rightly so, because that would, don't piss me off. No, best friends are supposed to tell each other the truth, right? So it says, when I saw his girlfriend on an exercise machine in the video, I had a bad feeling. She looked so shocked and she said yes. She only looked happy for 2 minutes, and the rest of the time she gave an insincere smile. My best friend expressed frustration that his fiance had confessed she wasn't happy with the proposal after he asked her why she looked so sad. Be so for real. He was venting to me and asked me how I would feel if a guy proposed to me while I was at the gym. I guess he really expected me to agree with him, but I said I would hate it. I said I don't want to be proposed to when I'm sweaty and stinky at the gym. I basically explained to him that I understood why she was disappointed. My best friend called me shallow and a bad friend, and I, the asshole, it's given he out of touch because I'm so sorry. This is just absolutely despicable. I like he really thought he ate with that proposal. Absolutely not. Hi, Siaman John. I'm so sorry if oh. Hello, Ola. How are you? Maybe he shouldn't have used the gym. Not that. Yeah, because I'm like, when you get proposed to, I would hope that it's some sort of romantic, and I would hope that it ties into something that your person likes. You know what I mean? Like, a gym is not romantic unless there was some significance around it and you did it before they started sweating. Like, I could understand if a person favorite place was to go to the gym, right? Or they met in the gym and they somehow talked with the people who worked at the gym, like, hey, could you maybe set this up where we could, you know, do something romantic? And they like talked to them and set up some flowers or, you know, did something really thought out. But it's like, this girl was on an exercise machine. She was working out and you busted out the ring like, hey, I know you working out, you sweating, but baby, marry me for the one time. Absolutely not. That's what I'm saying. Unless they met at the gym. I appreciate you, Kaden. Thank you for subscribing. But yeah, like that would piss me off. Or what if her gym is like her one of her dreaded places to go to, and you know that. You know she hate going to the gym. She's just trying to get into shape. And now she gotta associate the gym with a proposal. Ugh. Ain't no way. Okay, it says, am I the asshole for not canceling long-standing plans for a barbecue that I just found out about? And I got thoughts about this one. But it says, my wife and I made plans back in January with a group of friends to go to a beer festival in the mountains. My father-in-law has a rental property in the mountains, which we reserved for the weekend, and we all got tickets to the festival. It's 3 families and some other friends, so about 9 people total. The festival is Labor Day weekend, and my grandparents invited us and some other family to a barbecue that weekend. But we won't be able to attend because we're doing the beer festival. I texted my grandpa and let him know we wouldn't be able to make it because we already had plans that weekend, and he said he understood and that it was no problem. But then my mom texted me asking why we couldn't come, and I told her why. She told me she's very disappointed and that I need to make this barbecue a priority and that I should cancel the plans to go to the beer festival. She then goes on to guilt trip me, saying my grandparents are in their 80s and we won't have many more opportunities to get together. For context, we live in the same state/city as my grandparents and we see them 2 to 3 times a month minimum. She told me a beer festival is not a good reason to blow off my grandparents and that I need to reconsider my priorities. I I told her I couldn't cancel. The house is booked and the tickets are paid for. And I told her that if it was just our family and no friends going, that we forego the festival and come to the barbecue, but that I didn't think it was fair to our friends to cancel long-standing plans for a barbecue that we just found out about. Not to mention telling them that they'd either have to eat the cost of the tickets or find a different place to rent. I told my mom that if it was any other weekend or even Monday of the long weekend instead of Saturday that we'd be there and we aren't blowing them off. It's a scheduling conflict, but she disagrees and is very pissed off at me. Am I the asshole? So let me know what y'all think. Do y'all think this person is the asshole because they already had previous plans to go somewhere with friends? They already paid the money, or they're about to pay some money, and it would be a very inconvenient situation for their friends if they were to cancel. Or do you think that they are the asshole and that they should cancel their plans to be with the grandparents and to go to the barbecue? Now, unfortunately, no. So I've been in a similar situation a multiple of times with different people where some, like, I would have plans set, because one thing about me, I always make plans way in advance. Well, this is a tricky one. What would you do, Rose? I mean, Jasmine, what would you do? Let me know, because I know what I would do, especially not in this economy. That's what I'm saying. Because, okay, so I'll give y'all a personal story that happened to me some years ago, right? I won't say no names, but somebody I knew in my family, I go with the grandparents. Okay. So somebody I knew in my family got engaged, right? Now, I specifically expressed to them, because mind you, they didn't get married for like a whole year. I would go to the planned event, then pop up on my grandparents later that weekend. See, that's what I would have did too. Or I would have, well, yeah, I would have showed up on Labor Day. Yeah, I'm gonna need you to head up on out. We not doing none of that. Anyways, so I have a family member. That's what I'm saying. What the helly? Like, but they got engaged. I was really happy for them. And I told them, hey, you could pick any, just being, people being weird. But I've told them I'm free anytime next year except this weekend. Because I already had paid for this trip I was going to go to with my husband and some friends. And the trip cost like some hundreds of dollars. And it was non-refundable or whatever. And I basically expressed to this family member, hey, listen, I'm not going to be available that weekend. So can you schedule it any other time that's not this weekend, right? Mind you, I said this 3 times. 3 times when they were talking to me about how their plans were about to be, right? So I think a month or 2 before I was supposed to go on this trip, they tell me that they made their wedding that weekend that I'm not supposed to be in town, right? And I was just like, so you don't want me to go, is what you're saying. Like, I literally was just looking at them like, what specifically made you choose that? And I know what it was, because I've had other friends, well, ex-friends. I've had ex-friends do this to me sometimes too, where they will plan stuff when they know that I am busy, knowing they have a variety of free time available to them. And I know this specifically because I know how these people are. But for some reason, I have met a multiple of people who had this thing where they wanted me to cancel my plans for them. I don't know what it is. Now, I hate to say the word narcissist, but majority of the people I'm referring to are narcissistic. Like, I hate to say it. They definitely are very self-centered focused. They want people to make them feel important and stuff like that, right? Or they want to feel more important than they are, I'll say. But I remember I would always express to people like, hey, this is the availability that I have. Please, if you want me there, I'll be there, but like I can't change specific plans if I've already made specific plans, because that would be rude of me to cancel on somebody else just because you come into the picture with your last minute plans, right? And I remember in the specific situation with the wedding, the person was like, I'm very disappointed. And I'm like, well, I told you a multiple of times when I was supposed to be out of town. I'm not about, you about to give me my money back? No? Okay, then I'm not coming. And that's always the energy I'm on, because I'm like, if you know, and if like, it's one thing, right? It's completely one thing if you didn't know. So for example, in this scenario, the people potentially did not know. They were like, yeah, we doing this barbecue, whoop de whoop de whoop. Listen, I love mama and papa, but I already paid this money. So I'm gonna have to catch them that Sunday or that Monday. And I'm telling y'all, bro, like, it just used to get me like, okay, I'll even give you a different scenario. I remember I had this one friend that, again, I'm not cool with her, but you know, I enjoyed our friendship for what it was at the time that we had our friendship, even though it was some stuff where it was just like, what are you doing? But I remember I had this one friend who was also narcissistic, and so I was supposed to go to another friend's event, right? And this friend had locked in this event for a long period of time. So I was like, yeah, I'm definitely going to show up, because I know I locked this in with you, and I'm going to always show up for my friends. I'm going to always be present, for them. Now, this other friend basically looked at me and was like, hey, you doing something that day? I'm like, yeah, you know I am. Mind you, these friends do not connect, right? She looked at me and was like, hey, so I want to do something that day instead. Cancel your plans. Why would I cancel plans that I have with another friend for you? Specifically when this friend booked like 2 months in advance that they wanted me to come to something. You can't just cancel your plans with them for me? No, I cannot. Like, how would you feel if I canceled on you to hang out with somebody else? That's not fair. And when I explained it to her like that, that's when she was still annoyed, but she got it. But it was just like, and I'm sure if I explained to mama and papa, listen, the shindig that I was planning on going to, I spent about $900 and it's non-refundable. And mother here, your daughter, is basically looking at me like I'm in the wrong and telling me, oh, forgo that $900 and come and spend time with mama and papa at the freaking barbecue. Sure, it's free, but I'm missing out my money. I just spend this however much money, and now you're looking at me like, cancel your plans? Babe, are you going to refund me my check? Are you going to run me my cash back? No, you're probably not. So, yeah, I'm going to have to see my mom and papa a little bit later. Took a while to click for her. Nah, she knew what she was doing. That friend has had done stuff like that to me and other people I know multiple times, where she would do this thing where she wanted people to choose her first, whether it was like choosing what she wanted to do first, choosing her as a friend first. She was always like that. And it was like whenever you would spin it on her, like, hey, how would you feel if this were you? She's like, I already know this is the wrong thought process to have, but I really want to be important and I want somebody to choose me over everybody else. Like, I don't know. She had that real bad where she always was like in like competition with other people where it was like choose what I want over other people or what everything else is going on. You have to choose what I say to make me feel important. And I don't know what that junk was about, but I was like, girl, I request you see a therapist because it would definitely help you. Because that was like a ongoing unfortunate theme that was a part of our friendship. But yeah, personally, I don't think that person was the asshole. All right, so the next topic is, am I the asshole for changing my mind on giving my daughter my boyfriend's last name? Scandalous. Ooh, scandalous. Anybody remember recess? Anyways. Okay. It says, I am an 18-year-old first-time mom, and my boyfriend, who is 18 years old, I ended up getting pregnant around February 14th. Oof, a Valentine's Day baby. Yes, girl, you know you my Disney sister. I be so cringe. But anyways, she says I ended up getting pregnant around February 14th, Valentine's Day hookup, obviously, or sometime after that. I am due November 12th, but getting induced October. Recently, he has been ignoring my calls and even cut off his location and been ghosting me. Just dirty. Ever since I got further in the pregnancy. This is his first daughter. He already has a son from when he was 16 years old. Do he know what a condom is? Truly, he does not. But I honestly just feel like he hasn't done anything to deserve our daughter's last name. I've been buying everything on my own. His parents haven't even helped with anything. They haven't even bought a pair of diapers. I wonder if he knew. He do sound trifling. You know that's right, Cheetah's sister. Cheetah girls, Cheetah sisters. Let me stop, because y'all know I can't sing. Sounds like someone I know. Ooh, girl. I almost want to be in your business. Like, what's tea? But let me stop. Okay, so it says he hasn't done anything to deserve our daughter's last name. I've been buying everything on my own. His parents haven't even helped with anything. They haven't even bought a pair of diapers. I feel so alone and sad because of when he was ghosting me. So me and my mom decided just to give her our last name. Am I an asshole? What are y'all thoughts? Do y'all think that this person is an asshole for not giving their daughter the same last name as her boyfriend? Let me know in the comments because, you know, actually, I never really thought about it, but no, because it seems like he's popping in and out. Exactly. And how will he be when the kid is born, you know? I wish there was more details because it's given inconsistent dad. It is. Most definitely is. Now, I will say, because, and maybe it's just me, but personally, I don't believe in giving somebody your location unless it's like for safety purposes. But that's just me. Like, I don't know. I don't really like the idea of giving somebody your location and y'all just boyfriend and girlfriend, unless, again, it's for safety reasons. Because I feel like a lot of people be like, oh, give me your location, and it's like to stalk people or like to make sure they're not cheating. And if, in my opinion, I feel like if you need somebody location like that, then you potentially have trust issues. And that's something you need to deal with. Hey, Ariana girl, how you doing? She's not an asshole. If she's not married, then it's not a requirement. Exactly, I agree. Hello, Zulakia. How are you? I don't do shout outs, babe. I'm so sorry. I do not do shout outs. But yeah, personally, I don't know. I don't think she is an asshole. However, I mean, go off, you know? but yeah, I personally don't think she's an asshole. But I just feel like if a person is not present, all they really did was give you the sauce to create the scrambled egg, if you will. Thank you, appreciate you. Cause yeah, personally, I always wondered how come more women didn't do that. Like, why is it that women don't naturally just give the kids their last name, I guess? Specifically, if they're not actually involved with the father like that. You know what I mean? That's always been something I've always wondered about. And I do know some men would probably feel some type of way, but I'm like, if you're not present as a father, why are you that upset? And you know what's so crazy to me? I've met so many men where they'll be talking about legacy this, legacy that, where it comes to having kids and offspring and stuff. But sometimes I look at some of them and I'm like, but you're not a present father for real. Like, why is that such a big thing to you, even though you're not actively being a dad for real? You know what I mean? Yeah, that's all he was the worm, if you catch Exactly. I don't know. It's just so interesting to me how people feel entitled to stuff or have like this strong concept that I was a part of this, but at the same time, it's like you didn't do anything really. You did nothing but provide a sample. And I don't get it. I truly don't understand the thought process of being entitled to having that name on it. Cause then and then this what really blows me. To be like, oh, I'm entitled to the last name, but also I don't want to pay child support. How is that? Please explain that to me. Cause it's really baffling that you want to feel entitled to this name, but at the same time, you don't want to help. You don't want to pay no money. You don't want to be taken to court for it. And you wouldn't have had to been taken to court if you would just did what you were supposed to do in the first place. But I digress. But yeah, I don't know. I just don't get it. All right, so the next one says, am I the asshole for taking my daughter out for a nice dinner and leaving everyone else to fend for themselves? Now, when I first saw this, I was like, excuse me? Like, I was really sitting here in confusion. But it says, my daughter, who is 16 years old, and I, who am 43 years old, love eating at authentic Asian restaurants. We had to pick my son, who is 12 years old, up at a Korean barbecue about 40 minutes from our house. It was a party with another family. Yeah, because I was really sitting here like, what? But it says, I suggested to my husband, who is 44 years old, of 25 years, so they've been together for 25 years, that he and the two other kids can have whatever they wanted for dinner, and my daughter and I would get Korean barbecue at this restaurant. He said no. We should all go as a family. And yes, I had to do attitude with it. Uh, I reminded him that he and the other kids aren't big fans of Korean barbecue and it would be cheaper to eat separately. He insisted on everyone going. Y'all already know what's about to happen. When we get to the restaurant, he sees the menu. He complains. He doesn't know what to order and complains about the price. Well, maybe you should stay your ass at home. Maybe you should have did what I said. You know, that's something that pisses me off. I cannot stand. I cannot stand when people, you give somebody the 411, you give them the info, the details, the rundown. Rose rundown. I see you, girl. But you give somebody everything they need to know, right? Like, I know you're not going to like this. So this is why I invite you. And then they proceed to act some type of way when you get to the establishment. Like, well, did you not hear me? Did you not listen to what I said? We already discussed this. Why are you complaining? I feel like, but not everybody wants the same thing to eat. That's what I'm saying. Like, so when we get to the restaurant, he sees the menu, he complains. He doesn't know what to order and complains about the price. The other kids follow suit. I suggested they go eat in another restaurant in the plaza, and my daughter and I will get the Korean food. It smells so amazing, by the way. So she just, the saliva salivating. We waited 20 minutes for a table, and he continued to make comments about the price. Even told me, you better not order anything fancy. I hope she had her own money. Because, like, you ain't going to tell me what I can't order, especially if it's my money. That was the last straw. I got up and went to the van. Everyone followed. I said I was taking everyone home, and my daughter and I would go on our own to a local Korean barbecue. We did exactly that. Everyone else had McDonald's and played Roblox. I get home, and he is fuming, saying that I owe everyone an apology. I refused. I said I had zero remorse. It seemed like everyone was happy but him and went to bed. I slept perfectly fine. He's so mad. So am I the asshole for taking my daughter out for dinner and leaving everyone else to do their own thing? It sounds like to me that the husband wanted to control the situation. That's what it really sounded like to me. He really wanted to control the situation and was mad that she was basically not listening to him. Or I should say not doing what he wanted her to do. And you know, have I ever dated anybody like that? I've never dated anybody like that, but I've seen other people date people like that where, you know, like, I've had some friends and even some family members where they would date people who didn't like something specific that they loved, right? And so, like, in the event of this, the Korean barbecue. And what would end up happening is they would just not eat it anymore. So, for example, I even give you an example. So, my husband, right? He likes Jet's Pizza. I don't know if y'all got Jet's Pizza where y'all live, but he likes Jet's Pizza. Now, I explicitly explained to him I don't like Jet's Pizza, but there's nothing wrong if you want to buy Jet's Pizza for you. Or if we get some for Jet's Pizza, give me some chicken, some wings or something. Or you can get me a salad. But I'm not eating none of that pizza because I don't like Jet's Pizza, right? Hey, Oblematic, how are you? But he chooses not to eat it if he knows, like, you know, we're ordering food. And I'm like, you know, listen, you don't gotta eat the same stuff I eat. You know what I mean? But I wouldn't just be like, yeah, you never gonna eat Jet's Pizza. You know what I'm saying? Because that's crazy. Like, if you like Korean barbecue, get that. You could take our daughter out. We'll go eat something separate. Again, he wanted to control what she had going on. That's what he gave to me. I'm all right. I have a slight headache, but I'm okay. Oh, I've done that in the past, but it was quite the opposite. I watched something they liked, but I didn't like it and watched it anyways for them. Yeah, I've done that too as well. Um, like, so personally, I don't really care for Korean barbecue like that myself. And personally, I'll just stay at home a lot of times, and I just tell my husband go have fun. Cause normally when he gets Korean barbecue, he'll go with his friends. So, they'll go eat it. Plus, I'm gonna tell you right now, when you go to, well, y'all might know, when you go to a Korean barbecue spot, they charge per head. So like per person they are charging, and that junk is expensive. It's like 40, 50 plus dollars per person sometimes to get Korean barbecue. So I'm like, why would I go if I know I'm not gonna enjoy eating? Also, I'm not gonna hold you. I'm sorry, but you telling me I gotta spend $40 on food and I gotta cook it myself sometimes? Cause some of them you cook it yourself. And I'm sorry, that's gonna piss me off. So basically, I'm providing the service. I'm the chef. You just bringing out the meat and the veggies. And something about that don't sit right with me. I'm paying $40 and I'm cooking the food myself. No thanks. I'm good. I'm good on that completely. But if somebody else wants to do it, I'm not gonna like deter them from doing what they want. I'm gonna just go somewhere else or go at home. Don't like buffets at all. You got cooked Korean restaurants, didn't know that at all. So it's not all of them, but I think I've been to two or three, and I think only one of them they cooked it in front of you, and then the other two, it's like they have these built-in like stove situations at the table, and what they'll do is you get this menu, and some stuff they'll bring out already cooked, but usually they'll bring out the meat and the veggies and you cook it yourself on the little stove thingy. Like they set it up for you, they turn it on. And sometimes they'll start you off and show you what to do, but a lot of times you'll just cook it yourself. Um and again, it really depends on the restaurant, cuz not all of them are like that. Some of them they'll just cook it for you in front of you. But I would go in there and I'm just looking like $40 and I'm cooking it myself. I could have did this at home. And then you got a tip. And then a lot of places have gratuity too. So I'm like, why the hell am I paying gratuity? And I'm cooking my food, bro. Now, it's another thing because I want to say it's like two sides to the Korean restaurant, the Korean barbecue restaurant. So like one side they have the stoves and stuff, the stove tables, and then the other side you can get stuff off the menu that's already pre-made and stuff like that. And I would prefer to order off the made menu where the chef is in the back and actually cooking it for you versus me cooking it myself, because I'm not gonna lie, when I go to a restaurant, I want to be served. Like, I literally want the experience of, somebody taking my order, cooking the food, and bringing it out to me. I don't want to be sitting at the table and y'all like having me cook the raw meat myself. $40, like I'm just saying. Hey, Grimy, how are you? Yeah, again, it just really depends on the Korean restaurant because they're not all like that, but some of them it is like that where you cook the stuff yourself. Yeah, like I want the experience of being waited on, okay? But Oh, I guess I'll read it to y'all because y'all didn't hear it. But it says, am I the asshole for taking my daughter out for a nice dinner and leaving everyone else to fend for themselves? My daughter, who is 16 years old, and I, who am a 43-year-old, love eating at authentic Asian restaurants. We had to pick my son, who's 12 years old, up at a Korean barbecue about 40 minutes from our house. It was a party with another family. I suggested to my husband, who is 44 years old, who has been married for 25 years, that he and the two other kids can have whatever they wanted for dinner, and my daughter and I would get Korean barbecue at the restaurant. He said no, we should all go as a family. I reminded him that he and the other kids aren't big fans of Korean barbecue and it would be cheaper to eat separately. He insisted on everyone going. And you know what? I just realized something too. If you are aware that your kids also don't like Korean barbecue, why were you that pressed to bring them? But anyways, when we get to the restaurant and he sees the menu, he complains. He doesn't know what to order and complains about the price. The other kids follow suit. I suggested they go eat in another restaurant in the plaza, and my daughter and I will get the Korean food. It smelled so amazing, by the way. We waited 20 minutes for a table, and he continued to make comments about the price. Even told me, you better not order anything fancy. That was the last straw. I got up and went to the van. Everyone followed. I said I was taking everyone home and my daughter and I would go on our own to a local Korean barbecue. We did exactly that. Everyone else had McDonald's and played Roblox. I get home and he is fuming, saying that I owe everyone an apology. I refused. I said I had zero remorse. It seemed like everyone was happy but him and went to bed. I slept perfectly fine. He's still mad. So am I the asshole for taking my daughter out for a dinner and leaving everyone else to do their own thing? Let me know y'all thoughts in the comments. Because I said they were not the asshole. But, like, how would y'all feel if you and a friend or somebody y'all were dating, they didn't like a specific food, or they liked a specific food and you didn't? Would you be pressed about them not eating that food? Would you force your children to eat food they didn't like? Specifically at a restaurant that costs money. No, not at all. That's what I said. No. Yeah, because I'm like, to me, that scenario did not really, I don't know, it just really gives the husband was doing too much and wanted to be in control of the situation. All right, the next topic is, am I the asshole for not changing my daughter's wedding venue even though my sister's husband proposed to his 22-year-old mistress there last month? I swear, I really just be picking topics that sound just juicy. Okay, so the person at home maybe, but the restaurant, I'm not too sure, especially if the kid chose their food and said never mind. Yeah, so my thing is, why would you, if, and maybe he didn't know Korean barbecue was kind of pricey, because I'm like, if you know your kids don't like a specific food and Korean barbecue is expensive, why would you take them to that restaurant? And I'm like, did she even explain that? Yes, who wants to marry at a place with a tainted memory? Listen. All right, I'm about to jump into the story. Am I the asshole for not changing my daughter's wedding venue even though my sister's husband proposed to his 22-year-old mistress there last month? So the person who wrote this is a 51-year-old female. She said, I put down a $20K non-refundable deposit on this gorgeous beachfront estate for my daughter. That's crazy. Some people just got money. You know what I'm saying? That's my student loans. Part of it. The wedding venue should change it. Real talk. All right, so let's get the details. So she put 20K down on a non-refundable deposit. And she did it for her daughter, let's call her Amy, right? Who's 26 years old. When her wedding is next September. We booked it 18 months out. For context, and without revealing too much, it's the venue in our area, and it has been Amy's dream wedding spot in all of her Pinterest boards. Last month, my sister, let's call her Carol, who's 53 years old, found out her cheating ex-husband, let's name him Mark, who was 55 years old, proposed to his co-worker. That's crazy. The co-worker is 28 years old, but they've been having this affair since she was 22. Insane. But that he proposed to his co-worker who he has been having an affair with. Oh, hey, Mark. Mark, you scandalous. Just cheating on the people. But anyways, I'm reading the Am I the Asshole story. So it says the woman posted engagement photos from the same venue, specifically the beautiful beach area where Amy plans to have her ceremony. Carol, her sister, is absolutely destroyed. She called me sobbing, begging me to change venues. Says she can't watch Amy get married where Mark proposed to a girl younger than his own daughter. Can't smile for a photo on that beach. I feel sick for her, I do. But she put a 20K non-refundable deposit down. They already sent out the save the dates. This has been the daughter's dream wedding since high school, and everything else is booked for that day already. I told Carol I can't lose 20K and crush Amy's dreams because Mark is trash. No offense, Mark. Carol says, I'm choosing money over her mental health. Girl, bye. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But that, absolutely not. Carol says I'm choosing money over her mental health, that I'm forcing her to relive the worst betrayal of her life for pretty pictures. I also talked to Amy about it, and she does not want a venue change. That is not her fault, Mark. Who has been out of all our lives for the last 5 years, ruined that place for Carol. Carol called Amy a spoiled brat who wouldn't understand real pain. Carol, you could just go ahead and invite yourself and just head up on out of here. I literally cackled because I'm like, what if he came in here and then did? She not getting that money back. 20K, geez. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I hate it here. My bad, Mark. You know, that's just the name she chose, player. Carol need to shut up. She said, now Carol skipping Thanksgiving. My and Carol's side of the family, her daughters, and to some extent my parents say I'm heartless. The place is cursed anyway. Why should we host Amy's big day there? I'd be like, y'all better give me 20K. Give me my money if you want us to change the venue. You ain't got no money? Shut the hell up. But my husband's side of the family says Carol doesn't get to hijack Amy's wedding because her husband's a cheater. Am I the asshole for not switching venues? She can have the wedding herself. Wait, place is haunted? Oh, snaps. So I don't know if the place is haunted, because you know sometimes people be saying stuff just to get people out of doing stuff. You know what I mean? I feel like they were just probably potentially, because it's, and this is my thing, because if it was really haunted, y'all knew Amy wanted this place from the get-go. You just now telling her this information after she had already booked the information. Everybody knew this information. But if it was me, I would be like, Carol, I would need you to get your britches out of your ass And I'm gonna need you to pick yourself up. It ain't my fault that you picked a cheating man. It's not my fault that your man was a two-timer, a slut for his coworker. That's not our problem. And you ask, and then it's the fact that she's like, Carol says I'm choosing money over her mental health. 20K, babe. 20K, my mental health would be quite shattered if I was out 20K, okay? And you're talking about, oh, the husband, mind you, it's been 5 years, but I was about to cut. Mind you, it's been 5 years. I'm gonna need you to go hop on to another stick, okay? Stop focusing on that man who left you for that younger slut. Stop focusing on that because you focus on the wrong things. You up here looking at me like I'm the enemy. Girl, maybe if you would have chose a better husband, that wouldn't have happened to you. Let me stop, because sometimes people do switch up, you know. I'm not going to blame her completely, but she would have had me all the way effed up. And I would have been like, girl, you better run me my cash. But listen, I got to choose the house rules, the daughter over everybody, because that's babes. That's the baby. Ain't no way. Ain't no freaking way. And it's the fact that they already sent out to save the dates of where the event was going to be, too. And she talking about her niece is a spoiled brat who wouldn't understand real pain. Girl, that man been gone for 5 years. I'm gonna need you to get some therapy and pack it up. Pack that sob story up. Because unless you go give me my money, we ain't got nothing else to discuss, Carol. And if you want to skip the Thanksgiving meal, go ahead. Because nobody wants your potato salad with the raisins in it. I don't know why. I don't know why anyways. Reminds movie realtor was killing people making money off the couple's new home. That's crazy. Based on true story, was haunted. That's crazy. But you know, that's just like people who get married at plantations. I really be side-eyeing them like, why would you? I understand you think the place is beautiful. But did it not occur to you what has transpired there in the past? No, you haven't thought about that slavery and stuff. I'm sure there are a lot of people that died upon this place, and you're just gonna christen your wedding with that, huh? You're a little off, aren't you? 'Cause ain't no way. Yeah, T. Berries was talking about this movie, The Affair. I'm just saying, man. Listen, I've come across one too many raisins and potato salad. And it really gets me, you know, because this is why I don't do potlucks with everybody. This is exactly why I only trust selected few where I partake in their food, because ain't no freaking way. Absolutely not. But yes, the person who wrote that is not the a-hole. But Carol need to pick herself up by the britches, and I'm gonna need her to go and get her a new stick to hop on and focus on something else. Because ain't no way. Ain't no way. All right, next story. Am I the asshole for refusing to let my mom wear white to my wedding, even though she claims it's her last chance to feel beautiful? I'm serious. It says, I just turned 23 and I'm getting married in October. My mom and I have always had what I refer my mom and I have always had what I would refer to as a rocky relationship, especially since I got engaged. You know, let me have a little sidebar commentary. I am so thankful for my mother, I must say, because I have seen a many of people, bro, have issues with their parents during the engagement process and the wedding planning and that whole shindig. I have seen so many people go through stuff with their parents where they try to make it about them. And when I tell you I am so thankful for my mom that she was genuinely happy with me, I so do appreciate her that she has never been a competitive mother and she has always been supportive of me for the most part. Because sometimes I really be looking at other people's parents like it's crazy that you have to go through that. And I really do be feeling bad for some people who have to go through stuff like that because, you know, it is a shame when you can't really have a good relationship with your parents. Like I mentioned to y'all a little bit before, certain things about a separate parent of mine, but I just think that when it comes to your mom, it would be nice to have somebody who legit gets you to a degree or who is actually supportive of you and not competing with you, you know? Mama is trying to steal the shine competition with the daughter. Exactly. Mama is a clout chaser and shine stealer. Yes. Because why would you do that? Just, ugh. So it says, I honestly thought she was joking until she showed me the dress she bought. Oh, wait, I skipped something. Oh, okay. It says, my mom and I have always had what I refer to as a rocky relationship, especially since I got engaged. She's been oddly competitive, commenting on my body, comparing our rings like we are in a competition, saying things like, this day is as much about me as it is about you. Girl, mama wouldn't get cut off. Honestly, I thought she was joking until she showed me the dress she bought. A white floor length gown that looks exactly like a bridal dress. And I told her flat out she cannot wear that because, in my opinion, it doesn't match the occasion. She got quiet, then burst into tears, saying it's her and this was an opportunity to feel beautiful before getting old, and that I'm selfish for not letting her have this one thing. I would have been like, babe, I'm about to pick your dress for you if you don't pick that stuff up out of my freaking face. I felt really bad about this, so I also offered to go shopping with her to find something elegant, more appropriate. And all of a sudden, her countenance changed, and then she told me I was controlling and ungrateful. What gave me peace was that my fiance backed me up, as did my maid of honor. Now my mom is threatening not to come to the wedding, and my aunt says I should just let her have this to avoid drama. I don't think I'm wrong for drawing a line here, but now part of me wonders if I'm the asshole. I'm gonna tell you right now, ain't no way, ain't no freaking way. Cause if it was me, I would have been like, let's Google real quick. Should other people wear white? Come on, mom, sit here. You can read. You got reading comprehension. Yes, let's read. Should other people wear white to my freaking wedding? Oh, what that say? What that say? No. Yeah, she is crossing the line. Yeah, she is tripping. Cause ain't no way. Like, unless the daughter was like, it's okay, I would say you should not be wearing white because that's disrespectful. And she's talking about it's her last chance to feel beautiful. Girl, what you mean? What you mean it's your last chance? What is that? Oh, okay. I thought my screen was acting weird. But yeah, I would be looking at her sideways like, listen, you're a selfish old hag, and I'm gonna need you to pick yourself up, get it together. Or else, you know what? You don't need to come. And I'm gonna have security waiting for you at the door. That way you don't come in here on some mess. If somebody see this little hussy coming up in here in this white dress, You snatch her up. That's what I'm saying. Cause ain't no way. And it's like it just really be getting me how people be so manipulative and trying to act like, oh, it's about me as much as it is about you. And I'ma tell y'all, okay? Cause I don't know if y'all saw the video I had. I made a video about why I didn't have a wedding with my husband. When I tell you, because some people were testing me. Luckily, I am so blessed that my mom was actually somebody that was all for like do whatever y'all want to do because it's y'all wedding. She was very supportive. But I did have a variety of people say some out of pocket stuff. And with how I am at my grown age, I am very much, and I didn't always used to be like this, but I've definitely become a person where I'm like, if well, I'm more so like I am very direct with people now that I'm older. Because before I would be like, oh, it's okay. I'll let it slide. It's not a big deal. But now I'd be like, I'm in your ass. I'm in it. Y'all know that one girl on TikTok where she'd be like, I'm talking about in it. That's literally me though. Because I'm like, listen, if you say something to me, right, and you being disrespectful, because I don't take kindly to disrespect, right? And not too much can disrespect me. You know what I'm saying? You really gotta say something outlandish or cross like a boundary that's literally apparent to everybody. But some people will grind my ass. Some people will say some stuff or say some out of pocket stuff or move weird or move crazy. And it just baffles me sometimes. I really be sitting here, for example, when my husband and we had already said we was going to do something real intimate. We wasn't going to have people there for real. It was just going to be our moms. And I remember so many people. Well, actually, it wasn't that many people, but it was enough. And they were kind of like side-eyeing the situation, like, you're not going to have family. And it's like, yeah, our moms, the people that birthed us. That's it. But what about everybody else? What about you? What about you? Especially somebody that I don't naturally talk to like that. It just really gets me how everybody be like, it should be about everybody else. And I'm like, was y'all with us in our relationship? You don't even know me for real. Quickly, what's my favorite color? Bye. Like, I really just be so, it just be baffling to me how people be thinking they so much more important than they are. And I know this sounds so freaking mean, but at the same time, it's like, why do you expect to be invited to something that you weren't really a part of? Like, you weren't really with us hanging out. Like, I could understand our friends being there because we were hanging out with our friends a decent period of time, like throughout our entirety of our relationship. Our friends were always there. We would hang out a decent amount of different weekends doing different stuff and going to cons and, even taking little mini vacations and stuff or going to the movies. But it's like, if you weren't actually there, you just want to be in our business. And I'm going to need you to not be. Because it's giving fake love, fake support. And don't get me wrong, people are glad and we're happy that we were getting married. But they definitely wanted to be a part of stuff. And I'm like, but why though? Why do you care so much about being a part of something when you don't even really consider our feelings for real? Because both my husband and I are very similar. Like, we are both introverts. We are both people that don't like making big spectacles of stuff. We are both very much intimate people. And we both like to save money. So it just didn't make sense to have a big wedding. And whenever people would ask certain questions, I would just be looking like, why would we spend money on a big ass party for like 4 hours full of people we don't naturally talk to? Mind you, and I did make a video about it, but I explained how it would have very much aggravated me to have to repetitively hear congratulations and me say thank you. And I feel like people don't really get it, but I'm like, my real smile is going to become fake real fast. Because now I'm drained. I'm drained because I gotta socialize with all these different people. They asking me different questions. Also, mind you, a bitch don't want kids. Oh, sorry, YouTube, but at the same time, it's like I knew I was gonna get that question. Like, dang, can we just let the ink dry? You already in my coochie. You already trying to figure out when I'm about to pop one out. Mind you, if you was really around, you would know that we didn't want kids. But I digress. I digress. But I'm just saying, like, people really, it's just always so crazy when the topic of wedding or kids becomes a focal point, because people definitely be showing out and be doing a bit too much. And it's just very strange the way people act. Like, I have seen a variety of people get married over the course of my life, and it is just so interesting seeing the way people move when it comes to weddings. It's seeing like how people fall out, friendships during that time, how family members fall out, just seeing people make a big spectacle of things. Like, you know how some people would just come to certain events just to like talk mess about people, or to judge, oh, like, why did they have this type of food? Ugh, I don't like her wedding dress. Why did she wear her hair like that? Ew, why did they pick these colors? And not to say that everybody is negative, but people always got commentary. Okay? People always have commentary. For me, whenever I go to a wedding, my commentary is always, how much did this freaking cost? Like, that is always my commentary, and I just be like, I hope my friend not in debt. That's literally the main topic that I'm always thinking about, because man, I've seen people spend a lot of money on their weddings, and it's always baffling to me. I can't stand the way my nose be flaring when I get excited. I, anyways, but yeah, it's literally something to think about. It's something that I didn't think I would go through myself. Just because I've seen so many people I've seen so many people get married, and I've been to a many of weddings, but when it came to my own, I did not realize people were going to, I guess, approach things the way that they did with us. Like, and I know a lot of people looked at us sideways, but I was just like, if you already know I keep to myself as it is, I am very much a distant person. I believe I've told y'all this many a times. Like, I'm a very distant friend, but I am very much a present friend at the same time. But it always is crazy to me. Like, when it came to the wedding part, I guess people were like, oh, we're gonna have this big party. And also, they might have thought that too because I like dancing. So I think people automatically assume, like, oh, you're gonna throw like a really big party. And I wanted to at first, but I was like, no, because that's a lot of money we still gonna have to spend. Then it's also the factor that I'm gonna have people looking at me, and I hate people looking at me. And I know that sounds very contradictory considering I am on this live stream right now. Not too much, because it's not the same. I'm talking to a freaking screen. I know you guys are behind there, hey, but at the same time, at the same time, okay, it's not the same as like the room being filled with you guys, if you catch my drift. You know what I mean? Now imagine, because mind you, I have a big family, okay? But I don't really socialize with my family like the access family, if that makes sense. I don't really socialize with them. You know, there's nothing wrong with them, but I just don't really socialize with them like that, you know? So I'm like, to me, it would not have made sense for me to do anything. I'm an introvert. I keep to myself. And also to me, it would have been fake because I'm like, so why would I invite a whole bunch of people I haven't talked to in years that I don't keep up with just to get a gift? I'm sorry, but that seems so fake to me. And I like, you know, people were telling me like, you could get gifts, but I'm like, that's so fake to me. Like, that's not me. And don't get me wrong, I like free stuff, but I don't know, to me it just gave I'm using people, and I'm like, yeah, no, I don't want to do that. I do not want to do that. Big weddings are costly. One relative spent a lot of money on wedding. It's choice at the end of the day. Small wedding is better for me. Yeah, people spend a lot of money on weddings, and I always recommend people have a small wedding. Like literally, one of my friends who was ordained did our wedding at our house, and we basically just put up some Christmas lights, and that's how we had our wedding. Like our small wedding was under $300. And then I made us brunch at the house here. Like we literally, my husband proposed to me in the house he bought me, and he also wedded me in the house he bought me. Which is another reason why I kind of don't think I ever really want to move from this house, because at this point it's too many memories now. But yeah. Also, that's another thing I want to mention too. So it was a lot of people who had commentary on a timeline in which we got married. And I think that was like one of the first videos I made on YouTube, because my husband and I dated for I think 7 years before we got engaged. And it did used to bother me when people would ask me, like, so when do you think he's going to propose? When do you think he's going to propose? And I'm just like, I am so glad that I am not a group thinking ass bitch. Like, I am so glad that I can think for myself, because I was like, if this had been me when I was younger, I was like, this probably would have ruined us. How many people was in our business like, well, why hasn't he proposed and stuff like that? And I'm like, first off, people didn't know that we talked about marriage all the time, but it was certain steps of things we were doing. For example, in what year was that? What was it? 2019, 2020? My husband was like, so do you want to get married first, or do you want to get a house first? And I said I wanted a house first. But people didn't know that conversation that we had. Because I'm like, I already know I'm going to be with you, but we need somewhere to live, and the rent is going to go up. And it was just like, a lot of people did not know that information. So they would just be like, oh, like, what are y'all doing? But also, a lot of people didn't know we got a house either. So it was just like, I don't know. It was just really interesting to see how much people were in our business. However, a lot of those people, not everybody, but a lot of those people were unhappy in their own situations. And they, you know, I know society is like you need to have a timeline on when you get engaged. And I feel like that timeline does not apply when you don't want kids either, which is something I feel like people also should focus on and talk about because it's one thing if you want to have kids because you are on a timeline as a woman and depending on how old you want to be when you have your kids to a degree. But I mean, people have kids way into they like late 40s, even 50s at this point. But at the same time, it's like if you are not on that same timeline, like, and you don't want kids, the concept is not the same. So I know for me, because I was just happy, I wasn't as pressed to get married. How did I even get to this topic? Anyways, yes, the small wedding sounds nice. I can tell you're an introvert because you entertain yourself. I can say this because I do it too. Listen, one day y'all might catch me do karaoke again. Cause I literally will entertain myself forever. I am never bored. Never. I can relate to Herman, an introvert in real life, social side on YouTube, the ambivert with me. I'm similar to, or like, I'm an ambivert with certain friends, but you still have like a time frame with me. So if I hang out with somebody, I'm like, you got 2 or 3 hours before I'm socially drained. 2 or 3 hours. Extra introvert. Same. Yes, I'd rather a house before a big wedding. Yeah, I feel like so for my husband and I, we moved in. So, okay, so he got an apartment first, and I picked the apartment close to where I live, like literally right down the street. And then maybe a year or two after he moved in, I moved in. And then we lived together for like 2 years. Then we got the house. And I always recommend people live with each other before they get married, just from experiences I've seen of other people. Because sometimes you might realize you're not compatible until after you live with them. You know what I mean? They definitely were nosy and for sure miserable in our business, trying to start chaos. That's another thing. I used to hate when people would always ask, like, how are you and my husband name? How are you and so doing? I'm like, why are you asking like that? That makes it seem like you're trying to see if we going through something. You know what I mean? Like the way they would ask, it's just like the way that some people would ask, I could tell they were trying to see if we were having drama. But I always tell people, and this is something that I tell my sisters all the time. I'm like, do not tell people about your relationship, especially if you're going through problems. Like, do not tell people because sometimes that can cause issues or like it could just cause different problems. I'm about to mute y'all for a second. So my husband said, "What up, though?" I'm not gonna say the other part because I try not to use the N word on here. Y'all funny. I feel like I would want to get married first and get a house. I just think as long as you live together first, at least in an apartment, I feel like you should test out living with the person first. In my opinion. Cause then you could see if you actually like living with them. As long as me and future hubby got somewhere to live, I'm okay with waiting on the house. I feel that. We love a supportive husband. Y'all, I'll never forget. I remember when I started my other YouTube channel, um I was telling him I needed a ring light. I told him a couple months prior that I needed a ring light. And he like one day just surprised me with it. I instantly started crying because I was like, oh my gosh, like I really needed that ring light. I didn't expect him to get it for me though. But let's change rooms really quickly. Actually, mm, yeah, I'm gonna change rooms though. How long should I stay on here? I only been on here for an hour and 27 minutes. I don't know. Thank you. I really want to turn this light on. I'll just turn this one off. Hello, Sadi. How are you? Another hour? Dang. I'm thinking like 2 minutes. But I could do another hour. I'll tell him when I go back up there that you said, what up, though, Mark? It's so funny to me when people be like, whenever people be saying, what up, though, when it comes to Detroit to me, like y'all automatically be like, what up, though? I'll do 45 minutes. 45. Um, I'm in the basement. Did you hear? Give me a second. All right. I don't know. Maybe I'm old school, and our parents always told us shacking up wasn't good. So, this is the thing, yeah? And I'll be I need something to put this on. Okay, so this is the thing, right? When it comes to not, I guess, living with somebody before you get married. So, can y'all hear me okay? Okay, can y'all hear me okay? Let me know in the comments. Because I don't know if I sound muffled because I got the phone leaning up against a blanket right now. Okay. Mark, I remember when my partner and I started dating, we had to sleep in different rooms. I like that. That's cute. So, all right. Thank you, y'all. When you do not live with somebody before you get married, right? You don't know if you compatible for real. Like the courting process and the dating process, you're figuring out, your likes, like, if you can spend time with each other, enjoy each other, y'all courting each other, right? But then when you get to the part where it's like, okay, I could see myself with this person. Let's test out, do a test run of living together. And I feel like, again, people could do whatever they want to do, but I feel like you should live with somebody first before you move in with them, because a lot of people don't realize that sometimes the way people portray themselves outside of the house is not the same as the way they portray themselves, at home. So, like, you may not know if you're compatible with the way they cook or the way they clean or the way they run a household or the way they pay bills. Um, and a lot of people don't realize they're incompatible too, because, like, I've seen so many people that have moved in, like, got married, got engaged. What? No. Dated, got engaged, got married, then moved in. And they did not realize who they were moving in with. Like the person, they assumed the person became a completely different person, but it wasn't that they became a completely different person. It was just the fact that it was them at home. Like they were able to see their comfort spot, see how they were in their natural environment. And I feel like it's very important to see somebody in their natural environment versus like not, or like, sometimes people spend the night when they're dating, but it's not the same as living with them. Like you see everything, and then you could realize or make the decision if that's who you want to stick with. A good example is how people store food. Some people will put the leftover food in containers, or some people will keep the leftover food in pots. Yes, I agree, even though I do both. It just really depends on what it is and how I feel, to be honest. But yeah, and some people might find that a pet peeve, putting a pot in the stove, in the fridge, which I understand. But if you having a lazy day and you exhausted and it's a lot of food, and you gonna warm it up the next day, sometimes you just leave that food in that pot and you just warm it up in that same pot the next day. you know? But some people don't like that. And sometimes you may not realize that stuff is a pet peeve until after the fact that you're married. Or you may not realize that it's certain things you don't like about the person until after you're married. Then it's also the factor too that I remember I was telling one of my friends, because she was having this issue with her husband some years back, where she was mad about, I guess, the chores of everything. And she did not really tell him initially, like, I don't like when you do this, or I don't like when you do that. She would just let stuff slide and do it herself. And it's like when you see something that you don't like, you have to address that junk in the beginning. You know what I mean? Because if you don't say anything and you know it's something that you don't like, they won't know. And they already used to doing it, so then they gonna be looking at you crazy like, now you want me to change what I'm doing? But you didn't say anything and we've been living together for how long? Or also, wait, let me read because y'all know I get to talking. Solid advice right here, Jess. Thank you. No lie, I keep the food in the pot, and I'm glad my partner is the same way. Listen, it's just easier to just toss it in the fridge versus creating another dish to wash. That's my whole concept, okay? Right, I'm listening. Yeah, closed mouths don't get fed. I say that all the time, man, because people really don't be getting it. It's like people are not mind readers. How will they know unless you say something? Then it's also this is an important factor that I must discuss with you guys. An important factor. We not even about to do this. Anyways, an important factor, right? So if I'm gonna be transparent. Actually, it's not really me being transparent. It's just me saying this because we're all grown here, okay? Intimacy, the physical intimacy of things. There needs, it doesn't really need to be a discussion, but you should probably know before you get married what someone's physical intimacy is like. And don't get me wrong, this can change over years. You know, we go through so many different mental, emotional, body, like physical, spiritual changes in life, right? But at the same time, you need to know if you physically compatible with somebody. Like if the person you are currently dating is somebody that wants to do it 4 times a day and you're going to be living with that, they're going to want to blink your brains out, okay? And are you going to be okay with that? Is that something that you're okay with? Is little Sarah going to be okay with that? Is she going to be okay with going through the boink, boink, boink 4 times a day? Is she going to be okay with it? Are you going to be okay with it? Because a lot of people don't really talk about that. You know what I'm saying? People just think, I'm moving in with my person. I'm so excited. And I'm like, I get it. But at the same time, you do need to look at things overall and just really examine everything. Like, are we physically compatible? Like, that's something I always bring up to people, bro, because this is something that I feel like women do not talk about. You need to know if you physically compatible with somebody. Like, you really need to know because you don't want to be in a situation where you're doing stuff you don't want to do or where you feel pressured into doing stuff. And then there's also the factor that you don't want to be in a situation where your needs are not being met as well. Obviously, you can talk about these things and come to a compromise, but at the same time, I feel like that's one of the reasons why you should potentially live together. Yeah, that's something important to talk about before you go further into a relationship. It is. However, I will say too that sometimes people will say things and that's not exactly what they mean. Which is why I feel like when you live together, you will get a feel of their routine better when it comes to everything collectively, like your day to day, like your mornings, your evenings, um the cooking, the cleaning, the way they manage bills, the way they the physical, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, because I feel like that's a big part people don't really address and people don't really look at because, again, I have unfortunately met a variety of different women who would share how they were not happy, where they were getting banged on and they wanted to get slanged on. You know what I'm saying? They were not fulfilled in a most desirable way. You got to make sure that. Stop! You almost made my wig bang go back. Stop! Ooh. I cannot tea berries. Like, you, girl, you not wrong though. But you really do need to know those things. Like, that's another thing too, because like um I've had some friends in the past who some of them were actually untouched, if you will. Some of them were untouched. They did not, you know what I'm saying? And then some of them lied about it. I'm not going to lie to you. Some of them would claim to be a unicorn and definitely been on the pony. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I feel like, and I understand for religious reasons, some people may not want to be physically intimate, which is fine. However, I know some of the friends that I've had, I would tell them, or like, I've also met some people who would say that they were going through like celibacy, and they would say like they didn't want to be physically intimate until like marriage and stuff. And I feel that, again, I am a Christian, but at the same time, I think you need to try the merchandise. You know what I'm saying? I think when you feel comfortable, you should, because what if the package does not fit in the mailbox? You know what I'm saying? What if the hot dog don't fit in the bun? Like it's just something to think about, and because you don't want to be in a situation where it's a pencil and a hot dog bun. You know what I'm saying? You don't want that. You not too big, not too small. You know what I'm saying? You want to be fulfilled, is what I'm saying. That's I'm just saying. It's when you feel comfortable, you mm-mm-mm. You just try it out. Little erasers. Oh my gosh. And Jazz out here, love counselor and relationship expert unofficially. I really wanted to do that. That was actually a career I thought about getting into, but I didn't think it was a market for it here in Michigan, to be honest. So I decided not to go get a master's degree for it because I don't, I used to love school, but I don't really want to pay the money. I'm sorry that tickled me. Some men don't know what they're doing, and that's all I'm going to say. The little that I've experienced, you got to teach them, Jasmine. You definitely do, unfortunately. No, they got to teach me too. I'm still a unicorn, well, half of one. Okay, so this is the thing, right? And I feel like as women, we are definitely scared to speak up about how we feel, you know? Specifically when it comes to the physical parts. And I do think it would be good whenever you feel comfortable, whenever you get into, a situation where you want to be intimate or whatever. I do think it would be advantageous. Big word. I do think it would be best to talk about how you feel. Not in a mean way, obviously, but just in a could we try this? Could we try a little of that? Hey, I'm watching this corn. Let's see about this one. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Sometimes visuals can help them. Just saying. The merchandise term got me. My ex-girlfriend was celibate and it taught me how to control myself. Listen, celibacy can be great. Like, it can be very beneficial for both parties, but I will say you should definitely test things before you purchase things. A little sample, if you will, just to know what you're getting. Because there's also the factor of, are they a selfish lover? Are you a selfish lover? It is something that does need to be examined properly. Because, man, I would hate to be with somebody that, like, okay. There's a story that I'm going to put in my memberships that I bookmarked that I'm going to react to. But it was this situation where this, this woman was explaining that her boyfriend did not want to, is it cunningness or fellatio? I not me trying to use the proper terms, but she was basically saying that her boyfriend did not want to lick the envelope. Let's call it that. However, she would do the bobblehead upon him. And she felt some type of way about it because she was like, well, if I'm doing the bobblehead, then you should be able to lick the envelope. And the boyfriend was basically looking at her like, I'm not doing that. So she, in her steed, decided to take away the bobble of the head. And all I'm going to say is break up. I'm so unserious. The way that Grimy would get a kick out of this convo, he probably would. I've seen one, that's all I'm gonna say. Like, stop sending me a picture of your little eraser. Little eraser is so crazy. I wish college was free. Agreed. Because, well, like, sometimes, like, some community colleges are free, but, they be wanting to charge for everything. I would like my partner to tell me how to please them. And some people are okay with that, where they're open to it, where they're like, I'm okay with telling my significant other what I want, or wanting them to give me some feedback, versus some. It's always crazy when I really think back. Some people really know what they really think they know what they're doing. And it's like, man, all these people lied to you. And the thing that I always say to people, right? And I don't be meaning to offend. But sometimes it comes off that way, yeah. Why does it not be having a booger? Oh, hold up. Oh my gosh. And y'all ain't even say nothing. Oh. Anyways. Where's my thought process? I lost it. I forgot what I was about to say. Dang it. That booger threw me off. I don't know. I'm gonna have to come back to that. I really don't know what my thought process was. I hate when I lose my train of thought. Oh, that's what my train of thought was. Okay. Came back to me. So that's the thing, yeah. When like I said, I don't like to offend people, but I am a very transparent, direct person. So it would always get me when the fellas, some of the guys, the lads, would be like, yeah, I've been with this many women. And, the ladies love me. And my question is always, did any of them ever come back? Did any of them ever want to partake in that stick or that lick of the envelope ever again? Because if not, you've got a problem, my friend. You've got a problem. Like, I don't know. It's just something that I really be sitting there like when I was younger, how guys used to be bragging about the girls they've been with, like instantly my thought is, do they ever come back? Because they just one and done you. They didn't want a second go or a third go. Well, a visual presentation sometimes best example, to be honest, comes to learning. Yes, visual presentation can be great. I feel like a lot of men are visual learners, to be honest. It just sounds like appetizer sampler. I'm saying that's something to think about with the selfish lover thing. Yeah, it's just something definitely to consider because I will say someone being a selfish lover will roll over into other things of your relationship where they are selfish in other ways. So it's just something to take note of. Also, if he hitting the right spot, body language is not enough, use your voice and let him know. Yes. I've also heard that like a lot of women are scared to like be vocal. Use your voice. Use your words, use your sounds. Mhm. Mhm. Yes, fellatio. I swear that sounds like some sort of fancy what's that? Ice cream. Oh no, that's gelato. Mhm. Yes, yes. I'm learning from y'all for further reference when my time comes. The bobblehead. I was trying to come up with other terms, man. Just use the sampler. Hugh Hefner, nah, bruh. Jazz is looking for the Hall of Fame. Some of the fellas. Hall of Fame? How you gonna be on the Hall of Fame and you not... I was about to say something out of pocket. A fancy restaurant, bruh. I'm just saying, like, it's something to be said about people that I don't know. It was just always so interesting to me how people would brag about the amount of people they were intimate with. And the guys would be all like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I was bagging them. But did they want to be bagged again? Did they come back to your stick? Did they? None of them come back. Tried it once, one and done. Some fellas looking for a hit and run. It is sad. Even some ladies. Yeah, I feel like that is so. I don't know. I don't know. You know. What do you think about one night stands? It depends. I've never had one myself, but my thing is it a one night stand with somebody you don't know, like somebody you just met? Because I'm not gonna judge nobody. However, I feel like it is so dangerous. You know, especially nowadays. Like it's always been dangerous. Like my thought process about it is not of the judging, it's more of a safety thing. Safety because you don't know like you can meet somebody. For example, let's create a scenario cuz I love that. So, let's say let's see, let's think of a name. Sierra. Yeah, let's do Sierra, right? The name is Sierra. And let's say Sierra went to this club. She's dancing. Dirty dancer, dancing for money. Anyways, she meets Joe. Her and Joe hit it off at the bar. He didn't slip her no Bill Cosby, but they're knocking back drinks, having a good freaking time. And Joe's like, hey, babe, wanna come out to my place? And Sierra's like, you know what? I think I'm gonna do you. But so my thing is when it comes to scenarios like that, right? My thing, you know, that could be a serial killer. Like I watched too much Dateline when I was a kid, so I don't know what that says, but hey, how are you? But yeah, like you just don't know what time people are on. Now, if this is a stand with somebody that you know of, like for example, let's say you went to college and you kept seeing this one guy over and over and over again, and people know of him. He doesn't seem like a bad guy. And then one time you guys end up doing it. And then that was it. Like, I feel like that's a different situation where it's like, okay, that's a bit safer. You know, at least people know who this person is. But at the same time, it's like, still, it's just the factor that you could contract something from them. Um, Potentially, you could still get pregnant. Uh, just the factor you just don't know. Some people do be crazy. That's like my only thought process about it when it comes to one night stands. I'm always thinking about safety above every freaking thing because you just don't know. Like, for example, it's this one YouTuber that I watch where she was talking about how she will take vacations or whatever, and sometimes she will end up like rendezvousing and being intimate with somebody while she's on vacation, mind you, it's somebody she literally just met. And I'm always like, where is your fear? Like, that's always my thought process is where is your fear? Because you just never know, bro. You just really don't know. um, I don't know. That's always what I think about. So be careful sharing energy with a person comes to love. Some people energy is nasty. One lady messed around dark energy on him. Yeah, that's crazy. One girl kissed, telling felt life force leaving me. Why never went further? It's dangerous, scary experience. Glad never messed her physical intimacy at all. She sound like a succubus. What was that, emblematic? Cause not to be unserious, but that's giving succubus if you was feeling your life force being drained from you. That's like terrifying. Can't be trusting people. You really can't. Like, I don't know. You just never can be too safe because people really be out here in the streets. Like, again, I mentioned this before. How on Peacock, the streaming service, they always have these ads for like STIs, STDs, HIV, stuff like that. And it's just so insane to me because I'm like, oh, is this like a normal thing? The way they publicizing it. So again, that's literally my main issue. Like you just can never be too safe. Jazz energy wasn't off bad. Left her alone. She still wants me. Scared. Called me a lie. She would have been immediately blocked. Babe, lose my number. I'm feeling succubus energy off of you. Mm-mm. Ain't no way. Ain't no way somebody about to suck me dry and not in a good way. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm just saying. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Mm. But I don't know. That's that's something. But let's see. Okay, so I have one topic. It's not the am I the asshole, but yeah, scary experience. No lie for me. I'm glad I never ended up married. I'm glad you didn't marry her either, because that would be crazy. What is the craziest thing you have ever done? I can't really think of anything. I haven't really done anything crazy, to be honest. Crazy. Date a guy I knew that was cheating on me. That's crazy. Or I won't say I knew, but there were signs. A lot of signs. It was literally like God himself like put something in front of me that was a red flag. Just picture this being red. And God was like, "Yeah, you see this? It's in your face." And I said, literally, that was me for a long period of time where God would put something in my face and instantly I'm just. I like. I don't really had no wild stories if I'm being completely honest with you. I. I don't know. I've always been a safe person, to be honest. Like, I always played stuff very safe. Because I was, like, one thing I will say, my mom put fear in me. Fear in me to not do a lot of things. So, I didn't really do much. So, oh, is that dry skin? Oh, girl, pick yourself up. But yeah, I haven't really did much in my life, like anything wild. Yeah, I haven't really did much where it's legit crazy. Again, the only thing I could think of is dating somebody that I knew was on like other stuff. Crashed out in Macy's. I really want to know about that. Was it about something specific? Dating someone didn't know secretly seeing my friendship thanks dream knew exactly person was not friends till this day. That sucks. I bet they were smiling in your face. I would have crashed out. Yeah, it's always rough whenever I hear about situations like that. I'm always like, I will never understand how friends or like somebody can date you and try to date your friend too. Like, instantly, all I think is, you're going to hell. You're gonna burn. You're gonna go to hell. Because why would you do that to me? Why? I got so mad because nobody was helping me, and I was like, "Excuse me, really loud, bruh." Yes, T berries. Both them relationships didn't last at all. Didn't go neither birthday events at all. Was invited. Nope. I don't know. It's like the audacity of people. People be thinking, "Oh, it's supposed to be normal. You supposed to maintain having normalcy after situations like that," and it's like, do y'all not understand? Trust was violated. That junk is so crazy to me how people move like that. Dating is tough for sure. Y'all with partners are blessed. Yeah, it's I don't know. Every time I think about it, I remember my past dating experiences and it was not great. Like, I have a variety of stories that will definitely be on my memberships because I am not sharing those publicly at all. But yeah, I've been through some situations where it's like, I am thankful. But again, getting out the house definitely helps you find somebody. That's all I'm saying, you guys. Protect your peace. Always. True dating is rough market, no lie. For sure. Even when I talk to some of my single friends, I understand. Like, it's definitely rough. I think that's also one of the reasons why definitely working on it. Mhm. But that's also one of the reasons why I don't really like talking about, I guess, my relationship with friends either. Like, I remember, again, this was a similar friend, the same friend that I say I'm not friends with anymore. But I remember one time I had shared how I was really happy that my husband surprised me with a date, right? And I was talking about it and then I didn't bring it up again. Later on, found out that this friend went off on her boyfriend, basically comparing the relationships or whatever. And after that, I decided not to share with that friend any other details about any joy I experienced in my relationship. I did it Mainly because I was like, that's kind of messed up that you going in on your boyfriend. Like, if you really unhappy, break up with him, you know? But later on, like some months later, I remember she asked me and she was like, why don't you really share anything about your relationship? And I wanted to be like, because I don't want to make you feel a type of way, I guess. I don't know. Like you, I will say I do have some sort of awareness, which is why sometimes I'll just bring up like past bad relationships to reflect on it. Like this is what I learned, and this is what I didn't go back to or like learn from my mistakes. Um, cause like I don't know, some people don't really be happy for you. Or it's not necessarily that they don't be happy for you, because I remember how I was when I was single. I'm not gonna lie. It is very hard to be happy for someone else's relationship when you don't have one, or like when you are going through something with somebody you're talking to. Cause I used to be real bitter. I used to be a very bitter individual myself. Um, Personally, like I didn't really show it, but on the inside, like when I was to myself, I would low key be kind of upset because I'm like, people have somebody, I don't. I don't like this feeling. And the fact that people were not understanding. Because again, and I say this being where I am, but it's like when you are single and you going through it, people in relationships do not get it. I'm sorry. Or they'll act like it's easy. It's not easy. Dating has never been easy. And I know the other thing that I don't like too is when people will make it seem like it's so easy to get somebody, because it's not. It's not easy. It's really not. And because I vividly remember how upset I was and how sad I was. Or like another thing that I could not stand that people used to do to me, people would be like, you got to focus on loving yourself first. I didn't know I didn't love myself. Like, what are you talking about? What is showing that I don't love myself? I don't know. That junk used to piss me off. True it is, Rose. Jazz can't compare relationship, which is not a good thing at all, to someone else. Yeah, it really isn't. My stepdad doesn't get it at all. Clock it again. Like, make seem so easy. Put yourself in my shoes is what I told my dad, my stepdad. Real talk. Right, why I say that. I don't know, man. Like, I feel like people. Actually, I can't even say that because even though I've been in a long term relationship, this is my first time ever being with somebody as long as I have. But regardless, I still remember how I felt. Like, I still remember feeling sad and down for years. Some of my friends don't get it. I've heard wait on God, it will happen for you. Like, I'm tired of hearing that. Not to be on a vent tip. That's real though, because it's like, okay, so I don't know, Rose didn't make me feel bad at all. Yeah, like, so, okay, I don't like when people say wait on God personally, because Again, I'm a Christian, okay? But people be saying that, but it's like, don't get me wrong, you can do things to help to a degree. Like, I said, like, go out or whatever, but there's only so much you can do. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just never know when you could meet somebody, how you will meet somebody. And, when it happens, it'll happen. But at the same time, it's like saying that does not make me feel better. Like, I used to get so annoyed and I would just change the subject whenever somebody would say that to me, or I don't know. I feel how I felt for a quick second. I could feel it because it was just a very strong, passionate feeling of I hate this. And I don't know. It just people don't get it. People really don't get it. It really don't. At first, I actually did it for like 3 years, and I realized he ain't gonna find me in the house. I'm telling you, like, cause that's how I was too. I would just be at home, like, dang, where my man at? Like, girl, you ain't stepped foot outside in like 3 months. What you mean? Where your man at? It's very unrealistic. I'm not going to. But you be hoping. Yeah, living in the past comes to dating what it is. That too. Because a lot of people will think about things from the perspective of this was how dating was when I was younger. Like, you ain't been single in 25 years. Shut the hell up. You don't know what being single is like. And yeah, I know for me, I don't know. Like, I remember I went in like I went through this period where I was like the only single friend. And man, when I tell you, like, not to sound like a bitter Betty and miserable, but I was miserable. Mainly because when the friend right before me, when they got into a relationship, I was like, you really gonna leave me, bitch? You really gonna get into a relationship and now I'm the only single one. Like, that junk really sent me. Like, I was low key spiraling inside, like, oh my gosh. I hate this for me. Specifically, I used to hate when people would get in relationships around like the fall winter season too. And it also didn't help either when like I would date people and I would get my hopes up, because that was one thing I had a problem with. Like, I would get my hopes up real easily. Where I'd be like, oh my gosh, maybe this will go somewhere, and then they ghost me. Then they ghost me. Or if I talk to somebody for like a couple weeks, then I would think, oh my gosh, like everything's going so well. And then what would end up happening is they would be like, hey, let's be physical. And I'm looking like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm we just found out each other's favorite color last week. I don't want to bust it open. No, thank you. And then the moment I say I'm not into that, then they ghost me again. Like, I used to hate that junk so bad. Dating was always rough. I've been ghosted a couple of times, yet wanted my attention so weird to me. Yeah, I had maybe like one or two guys do that to me, where they would ghost me but still want me to like contact them. And I'm like, but you don't even like me. You don't even like me for real. Dating was so hard though. It was not ideal. But I don't know. You know, because sometimes I be wanting to tell people it'll get better, but I don't know that. I really don't know that. And that's another reason why, like, not to be a Debbie Downer, but that's another reason why I don't believe in soulmates because I'm like, why would my soulmate have had me waiting that long? But that's just how I thought about things. But I am thankful that things happened for me the way that they did. But I do feel like it's possibility to meet people and potentially things could work out, but it definitely is like trial and error constantly when you date. It's just so booty. It really is, man. Cause like whenever people ask me for advice, I really don't even be knowing what to say sometimes because I'm like, there's nothing I can say that would make you feel better because I know how I felt and I remember everybody pissed me off. Everybody pissed me off and people weren't understanding why I was pissed off. Or they would be like, date multiple people. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. I used to hate that shit. I hate that shit so bad. Just speak your truth. I believe certain person at certain times in life. Life is a video game. It really is, man. Cause like I remember like I have this one couple friend, like I'm cool with both the guy and the girl. And we've been cool since high school. And I remember they, they would be speaking life into me, but at the same time, I would be like, I don't want to hear that shit. I do not want to hear that. Because you saying all this good stuff, but ain't nothing happening. Ain't nothing shaking. And that junk was very upsetting. It really was. And then they tried to fix me up with somebody, which was a shit show. I'm gonna tell y'all a story real quick, actually. So, my friends, yeah, they tried to fix me up with somebody that I talked to once before in the high school. Now, I'm thinking, I don't know, maybe this could go somewhere. Maybe. They were speaking all this good stuff about this guy. Because, mind you, we did not talk. Like I think we spoke a little bit when we were kids, like teenagers, but then life separated us for multiple reasons. So they were like, "Yeah, maybe you should talk with him." I'm like, "Fine, fine, let's see." Talk to him. Disappointed. So disappointed. And I ended up having to explain to my friends, like, listen, just because somebody is a friend to you does not mean they're a good person to date. Just because you're friends with this person does not mean you know what they are like when they are dating. I feel like that's something people really don't be understanding, man. And they had to really think about it. They were like, I never really thought about that. And I'm like, yeah, yeah. Because don't get me wrong, I'm the same all around when it came to anybody, friend, family, acquaintance, associate, after I became comfortable, of course. But I'm like, some people will portray themselves a certain way as your friend, But then when you date them, like when somebody else dates them, it's a completely different story. And they didn't realize that until that situation where they were like, yeah, I never really thought about things that way. And I'm like, well, you probably should next time you want to hook somebody up with somebody. It's also the factor of, and that's exactly why I don't be hooking people up. I'm like, if you want to see something happen, you make that shake on your own. The most I will do is host a gathering because I'm not putting nobody together. You do that on your own because I'm not about to be the one to blame if something go wrong. Also, I kind of don't like when friends of friends get together either though. Specifically because, well, actually, I don't mind if they don't share. And what I mean by that is if you going through problems, don't tell me. Don't tell me because I don't need to know that information. And I'm not about to pick sides. If you're unhappy, break up with them. Matchmaker been there. Friends try to hook me up with friend never ended like wanted to. Yeah, like I think I've had two matchmaker situations and no, they were not ideal at all. I had get into friends about one friend, crappy person to date. Yeah, like some people don't understand that. Sure, this may be a friend to you, but that does not mean they're a decent person to actually date for real. But but yeah, I don't know. It's very it's like people want you to have somebody, but a lot of people aren't realistic about it all. Like when it comes to friends matchmaking, when it comes to them speaking like positivity on you, sometimes they don't perceive the way that they say stuff to you where it's like, okay, you're telling me that there's somebody out there for me. Cause I say this too, I'm not gonna lie and act like I don't say this, cause I say this to people too, like, you'll meet your person or whatever. I tell people that all the time. I don't know that. I don't know that. Just like how with me, I don't know how I got a husband. I really don't. Like I know how, but when I really think about it, it's like I really be having to sit here and be like, I have a whole husband, and I never thought that would be me. And you don't. I don't know. And the only reason why I feel that way is because I'll be looking back about how I used to cry all the time. Like I was so emotional back in the day. I'm still emotional now, but it was worse. Like I used to cry so much. And but it's just so crazy because sometimes you can get what you want, but it just sucks that another person has to be involved. That sounds so bad, but it really do. Like I don't know. And the thing that got me too was I think somebody had told me, I can't remember who it was, but somebody was like, when you finally give up, that's when you'll meet your person. And I didn't give up until I met my husband. And what I mean by that is when he showed up, I was basically done. Like I was done with talking to people. I was like, I never want to talk to anybody again. I was real bitter. He even told me himself, he was like, I did not think I was about to talk to you because you was mad bitter. And I was like, I was. I was mad bitter and I didn't want to be dealing with no man. But that's how it happened. But I've seen that happen to a lot of people actually when they finally realized they were legit fed up and then they met their person. And I was like, that's interesting. And it made me think sometimes too. Sometimes I still think about it like, was it the energy I put out? Because it's some people that I've met where, like, I could tell their energy probably throws people off. Um, and it's not to sound mean. Like, it was this one girl. Um, so it's this one girl I watch on YouTube, right? And she talks about her relationships and stuff every now and again. However, I'm not gonna lie. In a lot of the scenarios she be talking about, it really comes off that she is desperate. And I feel like her potential desperate energy is leaking out of her. And that sounds so mean, but there are some people that I've seen where I feel like them being desperate leaks out and it can be a turnoff to guys or people in general. And I don't even know how to explain it because even with me, I've been desperate. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've had moments where I've been desperate. Um, and it made me choose wrong people. It definitely made me choose wrong people, or it left me feeling alone or feeling needy. But I don't know. I feel like I don't want to say I grew out of it because like in one of my vlogs I said I do be needy with my husband and my mom, but it's like I don't know. It's just it's just really different when you I don't even know what I'm saying. My issue is that people don't like real me, want to downgrade or dumb who I am. I'm sorry, man. That sucks. I feel like a lot of people experience that. Like, I remember I dated this one guy, which this will probably be a future story time, but I remember I dated this one guy and he liked things about me. But then after we had been talking for a while, he wanted to change me and wanted me to become this different person. Actually, I've had a couple of guys do that to me where they specifically wanted me to change the way that I dressed or wanted me to wear my makeup a certain way or wanted me to wear my hair a certain way. And it was always wild to me because I'm like, you liked what I look like when you first got with me. And now that you're with me, you want me to dress like or become something I'm not. And that always rubbed me the wrong way. That's when I knew I wasn't going to be talking to that person no more. Because when they would start saying, like, I want you to look like this. And the thing was, a lot of guys wanted me to dress like the baddie aesthetic or like to carry myself with the baddie aesthetic. But first of all, they couldn't handle a baddie. if they really had a baddie. You know what I mean? Or like my thing also was if you want me to change the way that I look, I'm assuming you paying for it. And not to sound like a beggar, but I'm not about to fund changing the way that I look when I like the way that I look. So if you want to change my clothes or want me to wear nails or want me to wear my hair a certain way, then you pay for it because I'm not paying for it because that's not what I like on me. And I'm not about to spend my money to change what I look like for you. And I remember I told one guy that and he was so appalled. Like he was really looking at me like the audacity. And I'm like, aren't you broke? I literally was just in so much confusion because why are you asking me or requiring this of me when you liked how I was when you got with me? Like I never understood that. This is true. Some women are desperate. Yeah. Some women are desperate. Some men are desperate as well. But I don't know. It's just so interesting because every now and again, I really will sit down and I'll just be reflecting on past situations or like life. And I'll be like, we really came a long way. Because, man, it was not ideal. The road here was not ideal, but it was enough. Reflecting is good. Like, I feel like I reflect on something every single day, but I really try to look at things like, okay, where was I? What growth do I have? I think one thing though, kind of to hop off of relationships for a bit. So, New Year's resolutions, right? And like yearly goals. I set goals for myself. I try to set weekly goals and monthly goals for myself in general, but I don't know, when it comes to, like, the end of the year, sometimes it makes me feel some type of way. Or, like, around my birthday, I be feeling some type of way a little bit too, because 'cause I'm like, I really be sitting here like, "What did I do? What did I do this past year?" Because sometimes it really don't be feeling like I did much. And I was thinking, I think Imma start, like, some sort of journal or something where I can start taking snapshots of stuff that I did every year, and maybe that'll be like something I do. It's probably gonna become a video too that I do every year because I don't know, we already almost coming up on the end of the year, which this year went by so freaking fast. But I really, yeah, I actually have like three visual journals I'm gonna start this year, and next year I'm gonna probably show y'all what I put in them. Sometimes try end of the year goal, didn't reach my last year, that's okay. Visual journal, dope, I didn't. Yeah, like, sometimes you don't reach your goals, but as long as you made like progress, which is why I like to do monthly goals versus like a whole yearly goal because I don't want to be too unrealistic. But I don't know, sometimes I'll be sitting there like, girl, what did you do? And I feel like that's another reason why I'm glad I got YouTube because, you know, I make content and don't get me wrong, like I've been feeling some type of way. Yeah, like the vision boards that you do on yours. Like I like when you do your reflection for your vision boards. Yeah, monthly goals are always good. But for example, like when it comes to YouTube, right? I have not really been posting. And I got a vlog coming out where I go through my thoughts, like where I'm currently in my thoughts. But I just see whenever I make a vision board, I never stick to it. Like I always put too many things on mine. I think I need to create a more realistic vision board. But I don't know, like I have not posted a video this week. I am posting a video this week, but I have just been in a weird spot. And I am so glad that I made a doctor's appointment because I've been feeling real off lately. But I don't know. Mentally, I am not there. Like, do y'all ever feel like y'all detached from y'all body? I don't even know how to put it because sometimes I just be feeling like something pulling me. I don't even know how to explain it. Like, I feel this way every so often. I hope everything will be okay. Thank you, girl. Yes, like look at yourself from the outside. Something like that. It's just, I don't know. I don't know if I'm disassociating. Cause like I have I'm not gonna say I'm depressed. Like I got depression or whatever, but I do have depression. Like I do be going through these periods where I get or I'll say like a creative depressive block, if that makes sense. Where I just don't want to create nothing. Like I have stuff I could create, but I think it's just my personality. My energy is not there. So I feel like I don't want to make anything because if I make something, it's not gonna carry right. Where it's like y'all gonna be watching this, like why she sounds so dry, or why is she not herself. Jim Carrey tired being an avatar. What he called it. Yes, Jazz. Hope everything be okay for you. Thank you. Yeah. I think I saw that what he was talking about the whole avatar thing. But yeah, I don't know. I just have these moments where like I go through these kind of depressive states or whatever, which is why I really need to when I actually feel in the mood, I really need to batch record or I should say batch edit. It's not really batch recording, it's batch editing is what I need to do. Cuz again, I am close to getting monetized. And surprisingly, I'm still in the same spot. Like, I still have videos getting views and stuff, even though I haven't been posting as much this month. But again, my goal was to get at least the first tier monetization by September, the end of September, which I still think I can do. But I don't know, I just haven't been feeling myself lately. Also, I started my new job and stuff, which Imma have, videos coming out about that as well really soon, but maybe it's also me adjusting to my new job, and I don't know. I don't know. Like, oh, I get it, like, your sparkle back. Yeah, like, I feel off. I don't feel creativity. And that's why I was thinking, you know what, I need to start doing like a creative journal or something to like spark creativity in me. I honestly probably just need to get out the house as well. So I'm gonna probably force myself to do something and get out. I also probably should treat myself to something because I don't know, I really don't be buying myself anything. And I've told myself I was gonna get myself something new every month, like make it a point to do something nice for myself every month instead of not doing anything. Oh, yes, that can help too, some fresh air. That's probably what it is. I need to get out for real. Cause the most I'll do, I'll go out and take my dog out a couple of times a day, but I don't really be like being present outside. But yeah. All right, I'm gonna stay on here for 4 more minutes and then I'm gonna hop off. I do appreciate y'all being in here with me because I don't know, I never know how many people gonna come in here or what the energy is gonna be like. You know how it is, Jasmine. Like, people be weird. People be so freaking weird. Yes, I appreciate you. But I am definitely, I'm gonna probably watch Arthur or something. You had a couple of weird ones. I probably would have more, but I keep adding certain phrases to my ban list. The one with the shout out was about to get blocked. I'm not gonna lie, you can block anybody who asks for a shout out, to be honest, because I feel like that's the only reason why they in here is for a shout out because they never stay and they always be somebody new, and I'm pretty sure they probably be kids. Okay, I wanted to make sure before I block. Yeah, go ahead. You can do the block the shout out. Hello, Danilo. How are you doing? But yeah. But we shall see. Hopefully I get my memberships because I do already have content recorded for it, but I'm not posting it. Those are gonna be exclusive videos. And then also it's me. Okay, better now. That's good. I'm glad you're doing better. But also it's the fact too that I'm trying to figure out how to price everything because I don't want to make stuff too expensive. I do know the exclusives are probably gonna be $4.99. Cause I doubt anybody would really pay for the exclusives. But I'm like, if 1 month you're nosy and you want to play the $4.99, cause I know my lowest tier is gonna be 99¢, and that's gonna be. I know I'm gonna do live streams on there, where I'll probably go live at least once a week, and then I don't know what else I'm gonna do actually. I wrote down what I'm going to do, but I also don't know what's gonna be on the 99¢ tier completely. Oh, thank you, Danilo. Appreciate you. That's great. Close to Jazz. Seeing subs going up too as well. Yeah. The subs are going. If I posted more, they would go more, but again, I just haven't been feeling like it. I have not been feeling like doing anything creative lately. And I hate that for me. Oh yeah, you're getting closer to 1K. That's pretty good. To be honest, I feel like I'll probably hit 1K in September, at the end of September, but we'll see. We shall see. And I'm not going to celebrate till I get 1,005. Because I'm not about to get my hopes up. Because I do not want to be like, oh, I hit 1,000, and then somebody take their little subscribe black. Like, F you. I'm going to get out the house and go to the movies. What movie are you going to see? I think I'm going to get me some sushi from Kroger. Kroger sushi is so good to me. And I told my husband, I was like, when I reach 1K subscribers, can you get me something? And I told him I wanted some chocolate cake and some fast food. And then I changed it and I said I wanted a wig. But anyways. But all right, y'all. I'm about to get off of here. But I appreciate you guys for coming on here and chatting with me. Okay, I can see the rankings now. At number 1, we got T-Berries. Number 2, The Rose Rundown. Number 3, Ilbermatic. 4 was Mark. Number 5, Super Dog. I don't know who that is. 6 was Sean. And a whole bunch of other people. And okay, it's between number 2. Yes, girl. I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for hanging with me and for chatting with me. Listening to me ramble about nothing. Appreciate y'all. But yeah, I'm gonna see y'all again soon. Well, I'll be back on here live a week. What is it? 2 weeks from now, cuz I go live every other Thursday night. So yeah, thank you guys, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. I'll be seeing y'all again soon. Oh, were you going live? You said you were going live Saturday, Jasmine? Or or was it tomorrow? So I can prepare. Oh, I said when are you going live again? Are you going live Saturday or tomorrow? Okay, well, I'll make sure I'm not doing nothing Saturday night or Sunday night. I'ma probably just be twiddling my toes in bed, to be honest. But yeah. Well, I'll catch you in your live. Let us know in the what's it in the Discord, cause I'm gonna be in there. But all right, I hope you guys have a great night. I'll be seeing y'all again soon. Stay blessed. Stay positive. Bye, y'all. Oh, have a great rest of your week.